Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it.
The business-wise for a long time.
But that's why it's only business. It was really away from that. I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's a little fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, "Yo, I'll take you shopping." And I'm like, "What you mean?"
Picture this: a hidden tunnel, a Miami mansion, a party for a 17-year-old's birthday, and in the middle of it all, a half-naked man in a penis mask paraded in front of music royalty. He's drugged, he's disoriented, and as he stumbles into the main room, he locks eyes with one of the most famous women on the planet. Beyonce looks up and asks one damning question. What's this? What's this all about? This isn't some dark web fantasy. This is an allegation filed in a Florida court in a lawsuit that names Sean Diddy Combs as a ringleader and Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron James, and Gloria Estefan as witnesses. And it's just one piece of a hurricane that's about to make landfall.
When he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop. This is real style. Stop it. You set that up. Look, obviously was not offended by what I was offended by.
For decades, the industry operated on a code of silence. The parties, the connections, the unspoken trades for fame, it was all hidden in plain sight, behind velvet ropes and billionaire lunches. But now, the tape is running out, the whistle is blowing, and one man who said he saw it coming from a mile away is holding the detonator. His name is 50 Cent, and his documentary is the key that could unlock everything. Welcome to Behind the Fame. Strap in. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. This is about the network. This is about who knew, who was there, and who's been pretending they weren't. The house of cards is trembling, and we're about to see who's standing behind it. Rewind the clock.
I don't got that shit in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
I took
a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't f***ing give her a drink so she forget what the f*** happened.
Long before the federal raids, the trafficking suits, the viral footage, there was one consistent, grating voice in the background. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. While everyone else was posing for photos at Diddy's Black Billionaires lunch, 50 was on Instagram trolling. While others were clinking glasses, he was calling out the weird stuff. And now, it doesn't sound like trolling anymore. It sounds like a prophecy. Listen to him break it down on a recent podcast, recalling the moment he knew to stay far, far away.
And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
He felt the vibe. He called it fluffy. He said it wasn't his scene, and he walked away. But he claims others didn't. He points directly at Meek Mill, at the matching outfits, at the acceptance of that same shopping invite. 50 rejected, 50 frames it as a choice. Career access in exchange for what exactly? Meek responds being the uncomfortability. 50 says, $100,000 on lawyers just to find out why his name is in the mix, all because of that same discomfort 50 felt instantly. But here's 50's $1 million question. If it was so obvious to him, where was everyone else? Where was the industry's moral compass? It was not in the closet, 50 insists. It was in the hallway. You wasn't seeing it because you see the beards or you see the girls. A facade. A meticulously crafted illusion of power, women.
Kind of interesting. I think that civil suit turned into a look. They looked at it like maybe it's a criminal situation.
Right.
A little early, and it could have been.
And success designed to hide what was really happening in the hallways, in the tunnels, in the private jets. And 50 is now on a warpath to pull back every curtain, but this is where the story explodes beyond Diddy. This is where it threatens the very pinnacle of the culture, because the lawsuit doesn't just describe a freak-off. It places two global icons directly in the room, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Named as witnesses, the lawsuit claims they were seated there witnessing this grotesque parade of a drugged man. The implication is earth-shattering. They saw something. And the question the entire internet is now screaming is, what did they do? 50 Cent has been hammering this point for weeks. Why is it so quiet, he demands, comparing Jay-Z's silence to Meek Mill's frantic lawyer up. You don't hear him talking about French Montana. French was right there. Why is it so quiet? He's even levied a darker, more controversial theory about the power couple's rise. On camera, commentators dissected that Jay-Z's marriage to Beyonce wasn't just a union, it was a strategic rebrand, a corporate merger that swapped street credibility for Grammy-approved billionaire boardroom legitimacy. He started getting Grammys left and right. The kids, they don't sing yet, they don't rap yet, and they already have Grammys. The accusation here isn't just about what they saw at a party, it's about the nature of power itself in Hollywood. That at the highest level, it's all about alliances, protection, and the ruthless maintenance of an image. Did their alliance with Diddy, their brother, their longtime friend, come with an unspoken clause of silence? They act like, oh, we got nothing to do with that. 50 mocks. But the legal document tells a different story. It places them in the building, and if this case moves forward, their legal teams will be fighting like hell to keep them off the stand. The shockwaves don't stop at the Carter throne. They ripple out to every A-lister ever linked to Diddy's orbit, and they're all starting to squirm. Will Smith, who once laughed off a Jimmy Kimmel joke about Diddy and J-Lo, is now going live to vehemently deny any involvement. Nowhere near no damn freak-off. I do enough of my own, he insists, trying to laugh it off but sounding unmistakably nervous. Why speak up now, after years of silence? Because the game has changed. This isn't about rumors anymore. This is about federal indictments and civil suits that name names.
Really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes. I see the memes. I say, no, some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny.
And the list of those in the blast radius is staggering. Who lived with Diddy as a teen. Justin Bieber, who was a frequent guest in his circle. Terrence Howard, who once spoke in cryptic terms about men in the industry giving up their man card and needing therapy to deal with the psychological fallout. Orlando Brown, the former Disney star, everyone wrote off as crazy, is being resurrected on timelines everywhere. His old, rambling interviews warning people about Diddy, don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party, now sound less like delusion and more like a desperate testimony nobody wanted to hear. They're called crazy, the narrator says, highlighting the universal tactic used to discredit whistleblowers. Until they're not crazy anymore. Until the evidence starts to line up. At the heart of the federal government's ticking clock is one woman, Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former protege and longtime girlfriend. Her civil lawsuit, which detailed years of alleged abuse, sex trafficking, and horrific coercion, was the first domino to fall publicly, and now she's confirmed to be a key witness for the prosecution. This is the nightmare scenario for the defense. Cassie isn't an outsider. She was inside the machine. She knows the players, the routines, the secrets.
Where you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce, right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Her testimony could provide the roadmap prosecutors need to connect Diddy to the broader alleged criminal enterprise. And the feds are arming themselves with more than just her story. They've enlisted Dr. Dawn Hughes, a forensic psychologist and leading expert on coercive control. Her job will be to explain to a jury exactly how a powerful man allegedly manipulates, isolates, and breaks down victims over years. This isn't just about proving a crime happened. It's about making a jury understand the invisible prison witnesses like Cassie described. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team is pushing for a delay potentially for years. They argue the new allegations of widespread global conduct involving dozens of unnamed co-conspirators and deceased witnesses create an impossible maze to navigate. It's a stalling tactic, but it reveals their core argument. The case is too big, too complex, too dangerous to the entire ecosystem to ever see a courtroom. But there's one clock the defense can't stop.
Was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out.
One piece of evidence they can't sequester. 50 Cent's Netflix documentary series, Did He Do It? This is the X factor. This is the cultural trial that will happen long before the legal one 50 Cent has promised it won't be about surface level gossip. It will be a forensic excavation of the network, the how, the who, and the money trail. Imagine the footage, the never before seen interviews, the insiders finally speaking without fear because the dam has already broken. This documentary isn't just about taking down Diddy. According to 50, it's about exposing the lobbyists and the connections that protected him for so long. Every celebrity named in this video, every star who's ever attended a white party or posed for a family photo is waiting for that trailer to drop because 50 Cent has no skin in the game. He has no peer group to protect. He's the outsider who became an empire onto himself, and he has nothing to lose.
You better believe it. Shout at Def Jam, be the best. You know what it is. It's 2010, baby. It's the takeover. I'm going in.
Happy New Year to the whole planet.
I don't have a support system of artists that I require to do what I'm doing, he states coldly. He is, in essence, the perfect predator for this moment. Unattached, uncompromising, and utterly fearless. So here we stand, on the edge of the unthinkable. A hidden tunnel in Miami leads to a courtroom in New York. A shopping invite from a mogul leads to a federal trafficking indictment. A trolling Instagram post leads to a potential Netflix bombshell. This is the story behind the fame they never wanted you to piece together. The story of how business and pleasure and power became so twisted that they now threaten to swallow the very kings and queens of the industry whole. The silence is breaking. The whispers are becoming screams. And the only question left is, who's next? This is just the surface. The depositions are coming. The documentary is coming. The trial is coming. You need to be here for every second of it. Subscribe to Behind the Fame and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a single update. This story is moving fast. And let me know in the comments, who or what should we deep dive into next? The secret history of Diddy's white parties? The untold story of Cassie's exit? The other powerful names on 50 Cent's list? Tell us what you want exposed next.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me.
Now that I'm engaged, I've decided to slow down a little. 3 Diddy parties a week. Maybe 4. Well, not including the weekends.
Boy, I remember one day we went to this Diddy party.
Well, what happened?
Lil Jon forgot his pimp cup.
Yep.
D-Rock went to Diddy and asked if he had a pimp cup Lil Jon can borrow.
Man, he had a whole bunch of pimp cups.
He had a pimp set.
It's hard to say which is more off the hook, a Diddy party or a Diddy after party, or a Diddy after party, which is basically a pre-party for the next Diddy party.
There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became.
You already knew the parties weren't just parties. You felt the silence that followed certain names, a quiet so deep and so wide it felt less like discretion and more like fear. You watched the careers launched from behind those velvet ropes, the untouchable status of certain celebrities, and you wondered, what was the real price of admission? The whispers said it was about connections, about being in the right room at the right time. But the truth is so much darker, so much more calculated. What you didn't know, what they never wanted you to find out, is that every single moment in those rooms was being recorded. Every compromise, every transaction, every forced moment of weakness, meticulously documented and stored away, not as memories, but as weapons. For decades, it was the most open secret in Hollywood, a ghost in the machine. Tonight, the machine is breaking, and a man they tried to destroy, Terrence Howard, is shattering decades of silence to reveal the unthinkable, which A-list celebrities weren't just attending Diddy's infamous gatherings. They were active, willing architects in building the largest, most sophisticated blackmail operation in entertainment history. But before we dive into the celebrity recordings that are tearing Tinseltown apart at its seams, you need to understand something critical. This story didn't start in a boardroom or a recording studio. It started with a warning from beyond the grave. DMX didn't just die, he was silenced. And if that sounds like the fringe of a conspiracy theory, I need you to listen. Really listen to the man in his final days, because when you hear a warrior, beaten and bruised, predicting his own death while exposing the exact same network we're exposing today, you start to realize that some conspiracy theories are just inconvenient truths, dressed up by the powerful to sound crazy. Stop. Right there.
I think it's a conspiracy against me, you know, because in the absence of the truth will prevail. So as long as nobody out there spitting real, you know, you can come up with anything and it'll sell, you know what I'm saying? But once you put the truth out there, it's like people have something to compare everything else to. So, you know, you got a lot of people who are not really happy about the fact that, you know, my album is about to drop. You know, they're not really happy about, you know, Lord, give me a sign, and, you know, we in here, and, you know, things of that nature. But you know what? If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I call The Industry. And that pretty much explains, you know what I'm saying, what this is about. The industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a game. The industry, real is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk with the gap. The industry got y'all word meaning nothing. The industry what you heard, because he's bluffing. The industry, money, bitches, hate, but I dare you to try to take a thing off my plate. The industry like, wait, but in the streets be like, get him. 17 up in that thing, catch him sleeping, hit him. My pop web's with him. The coroner's coming to get him. Industry.
Did you catch what he just said? He doesn't talk about a vague, shadowy plot. He names names. Jay-Z, Diddy. The exact power structure controlling the industry through what he called sick individual behavior. This wasn't a man having a public breakdown. This was a soldier with 30 years on the front lines trying to scream a warning to us about a systematic operation he knew would eventually consume him.
And the things that the devil does, it's not so much a person, even though he acts through people. You know, you can't call one person the devil. You know, you can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil. You know, and you know, it's through all these hardships that I realized that, you know what, this is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path. And it's by overcoming these obstacles that I realized that this is God's country because he helped me get over these obstacles.
My beef with them is that they are an obstacle to the truth, to people knowing what's really going on. Listen to the gravel in that voice, the raw, unfiltered pain. DMX is describing the Diddy-Jay-Z partnership not as a business rivalry, but as an active, malicious obstacle to the truth. He's telling us, point blank, that they work in concert to maintain control through methods most people wouldn't dare to imagine. But here's where the temperature drops to absolute zero. Watch what happens when DMX gets specific, brutally specific, about the industry practices everyone knows about, but nobody has the guts to talk about. They work together. It's called compromise. You put a man in a compromising situation, and then you have something on him, and then you can control him. That right there is a dead man's testimony. DMX just laid out the entire blueprint.
Industry, dog.
Industry is full of a bunch of dick sucking, dick riding, bending over the desk ass straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it, nigga. Bring it. I don't give a bring it. Bring it, bitch. Well, the industry is full of homo hating ass. I mean, it's like they got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play this. And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive dicks, and it's like there's too much of that going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music. You know what I mean? Exactly. Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and you know, all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I'll give you the music, you give my money. That's it. A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. You know?
And you've always stood alone and, you know, bloodline,
you're not gonna see me at every party, every industry party, all the clubs. I go somewhere quiet, man, shoot pool with me and my mans and them, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit I do, you know what I'm saying? My remote control cars, jump on the four-wheelers, you know what I mean? I ain't with all that in the club, throwing it up and all that. I ain't got time for that man. And then you find yourself doing the same every day. What are you, alcoholic? You know what I mean? Come on, man. Give it a break, man. Live a little, you know what I mean? Play with my kids, man. I play with my toys, I play with my dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? We go somewhere, shoot pool. We do what the we do. You know what I mean? That's why you see us in places that you don't normally see. You're like, damn, why you here? Well, I'm here because why are you here, mother? You here playing video games, right then. You know what I mean? These had the nerve to tell me one time, I said, yo, why I can't have two videos playing at the same time? Oh, because we don't want your videos to compete with each other. But then I turn on the TV, I ain't gonna say no artist names, but they got 3 videos back to back.
Exactly.
I'm like, you feeding me, and you sucking these dicks all crazy, man. What's wrong with that? Yo, I had to punch one nigga in his face up there, man. After that, I was like, I'm not going to the office no more.
Is that how it went down?
Yeah. Cause I don't, I'm a grown ass man, and I ain't got time to be playing no kid games, man. So once I see I'm not dealing with a man, and he disrespects me, I'm breaking his jaw.
He detailed the mechanism of control, compromise, humiliation, and the threat of exposure. He explained how these partnerships maintain power through shared damning secrets. And he revealed the ultimate price for speaking out: systematic, professional, and personal destruction. He wasn't just making accusations. He was providing a roadmap, a key to understanding the very recording operation we are exposing tonight. The most heartbreaking part, DMX tried to warn us. He tried to expose the same cancerous network that Terrence Howard is now risking everything to reveal. The only difference is DMX didn't live long enough to see justice served, but his words live on. They are a prophetic testimony from a man who knew the cost of speaking truth to power and spoke it anyway. This is the foundation you must understand, because everything DMX predicted is unfolding right before our eyes. But DMX was speaking from the perspective of a victim being systematically destroyed by the machine. What we needed was a survivor, someone who looked into the abyss, said no, and lived to tell the tale.
A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're gonna get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise, I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man, I don't do that. Because the man card means everything.
That man is Terrence Howard. Unlike DMX, Terrence Howard didn't just survive the industry's darker elements. He studied them. He reverse engineered them. And what he discovered about the systematic recording operation will make you understand exactly why the system tried so hard to break him, to paint him as crazy, to erase him. A number of producers, they came to me with opportunities in exchange for intimate favors. Hold up. Did you catch the precision of his language? He didn't say a producer. He said a number of producers. This wasn't a random one-off proposition. This was a systematic, calculated recruitment drive for what he explicitly calls opportunities in exchange for intimate favors. This was the pipeline. But here's the game-changing revelation that changes everything. When Terrence refused these opportunities, he didn't just lose work. He discovered a terrifying truth. Rejecting the system meant he was never supposed to find out what happens to the people who accept it. And that's when he started paying attention. That's when he began connecting the dots to other artists who mysteriously vanished after speaking out. Artists like P.D. Pablo.
And they tell him, okay, yeah, you can have a deal. You know, perform fellatio on me, and you get your deal. That was what I heard while I was on Empire about some of the people in the business. And P.D. Pablo, you remember P.D. Pablo?
I know who that is.
P.D. Pablo, talented writer, singer. Him and Young Buck wrote a song called Ho Is On. And in that song, back in about 2011 or 29 or something, because he called out all of the taking place at those parties and those people, he was kicked out of the music business. No radio station would play his stuff. So you look for P.D. Pablo, he's not around anymore. But that song, Ho It's On, they did not care. They went all in on it.
They create fake scandals to discredit them before they can reveal what they know. This is the missing piece of the puzzle. They don't just destroy artists who try to expose the recording system. They actively orchestrate their character assassination. They weaponize the media to create a fake scandal narrative, ensuring that when the victim speaks, their credibility is already ashes. Think about the devastating implications. P.D. Pablo wasn't just a rapper who fell off. He was a lyrical powerhouse who got systematically erased because he started exposing the intimate favor network that feeds fresh talent to the recording operation. The pattern is now unmistakable, a terrifying trifecta of control. DMX warned about the system, and he died. P.D. Pablo exposed the system and got his character eliminated. Terrence Howard refused to participate and got his career sabotaged. But here's what the architects of this nightmare never counted on. Terrence Howard survived. He survived long enough to connect all the dots. And what he discovered about the celebrity recruitment network will fundamentally rewire your understanding of Hollywood.
Rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, or until you see them at a Puffy party.
Oh.
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive because the masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray. Oh, drop it.
Because it wasn't just Diddy running this operation alone in a shadowy room. He had help. Active, willing, complicit help from some of the biggest, most trusted names in the world. Names you grew up with. Faces you admired, celebrities you never ever suspected were actively feeding talent directly into the recording machine. The question is no longer whether celebrities were being recorded. The question that should be sending chills down your spine is, which celebrities were helping to do the recording? Before we name those names, fam, you need to be part of this investigation.
Great, I'm watching him, he's with my man Charlie Mack, so Charlie was with me every step of the way. First out the limo, so Charlie has been with me, 30 years coming up in the business, so, he's surrounded.
This story is moving at lightning speed, and you cannot miss what comes next. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because what we reveal in the second half of this video will change how you see Hollywood forever. Don't be on the outside looking in. You need to understand exactly how this recording operation functioned, because what Terrence Howard uncovered isn't just about party footage or embarrassing moments. This was a systematic clinical program of psychological warfare designed to break a person so completely they could never mentally or emotionally recover enough to expose what was done to them. They have a clinical term for it, a term that should haunt your dreams. Let that term sink into your soul for a moment. Breaking the bug. It's the language of extermination, of dehumanization. It describes a process of such total psychological domination that the victim is left a shell, forever trapped. Terrence was strong enough to fight back, but most weren't. But here's the most disturbing part of the blueprint. According to Terrence, they don't target just anyone. They specifically target individuals with natural charisma, authentic talent, and independent thinking, the exact qualities that could make someone a genuine threat to their power structure in the future. Listen to the genuine confusion in his voice. He's describing a mass industry-wide cognitive dissonance. The public persona, the hyper-masculine invincible rapper, is the exact opposite of what was demanded and recorded in those private sessions. This is the core of the blueprint. Target a uniquely talented individual. Force them into a compromising situation. Record everything. Use that footage as a psychological anchor to control their behavior, their music, their public statements for decades. The recordings aren't just blackmail material, they are shackles on the soul. They keep victims trapped in the system, performing, producing, and protecting the very machine that owns them, because the cost of escape, the horror of that footage seeing the light of day, is unthinkable. And once you understand this mechanism, everything else starts to make a terrifying, horrifying sense. The sudden celebrity breakdowns, the erratic, out-of-character behavior, the mysterious, often early deaths of people who started talking a little too much. It's all part of managing a population of controlled individuals whose every move is dictated by what was captured on camera. But here's what the system never anticipated. Some celebrities weren't just victims of this recording operation. Some of them were active participants in building it, and the name that keeps coming up isn't who you'd ever expect. Look at that old footage. There's Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, America's dad, gushing with paternal pride about his mentorship of a young, bright-eyed talent. But now, look at Bryce's face. That's not gratitude. That's the face of captivity. The body language doesn't lie. The smile doesn't reach the eyes. What we're seeing, with the benefit of hindsight, isn't mentorship. It feels like imprisonment. Insider and singer Jaguar Wright connected every single dot, and the picture she painted is monstrous. Think about the sheer diabolical genius of the manipulation. You're a kid from West Philadelphia, and Will Smith, the single biggest success story your neighborhood has ever produced, offers to take you under his wing, to mentor you. What young, starry-eyed kid would ever say no? What parent would ever be suspicious? That trust, that hope, was weaponized. According to Wright, Will Smith wasn't elevating talent. He was curating it.
They're both. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill, Bashir Gray left that house screaming. August, the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
He was feeding a steady stream of fresh, vulnerable, and trusting young men directly into a recording system specifically designed to break them. There it is, your explicit confirmation. Wright states, on record,
Both they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill, Bashir Gray left that house screaming. August, the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Hey, man.
And that was their kid's friend.
that both Will Smith and Diddy were involved in activities so terrifying, so traumatic, that the victims were left screaming and running. The recruitment network was perfect, a sick symphony of exploitation. Will Smith provided the credibility, the trust, the good guy facade. Diddy provided the infrastructure, the parties, the recording apparatus. Together, they created a seamless pipeline that could identify, condition, compromise, and control an endless supply of young talent. This is how the legendary celebrity tape library was built, not by chance, not by luck, but through the systematic, cold-blooded recruitment by the most trusted figures in the business who use their own reputations as bait. But if you think the Will Smith recruitment network sounds devastating, wait until you hear the specific eyewitness evidence about which celebrities were actually recorded and what those recordings allegedly contain. The details come fast and furious, a torrent of specific named accusations, but then she drops the bomb that should trigger federal investigations. Let that settle. Jaguar Wright just alleged on record the existence of a specific tape.
She knew she knew what Will did to him.
Charlie promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's whore. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bashir in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy, and I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gay porn. You and Charlie back.
Yeah, let me ask you. Today the U.S. Yeah, no, we gonna pray for Mr. Gray, man. If he needs prayer, I don't even know what's going on.
They trying to sleep him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists. I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it? All that talent, and she let Charlie tune that boy up on coke, knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a Philly whore. You're a whore. You're a bigger whore than they're making your son out to be, that's for sure.
A tape involving Bryce Gray, the victim, Will Smith and Diddy, the perpetrators, Jaden Smith and Justin Bieber, alleged witnesses. She provides names, a location implied by the context, and an explicit description of a recorded event so damaging it's being used to silence a lawsuit. But here is the single most disturbing detail in this entire sordid affair. Wright reveals that Bryce Gray's own mother was allegedly complicit, that she knowingly delivered her son to these recording sessions for money and status. This wasn't random exploitation, this was family-facilitated exploitation, where a parent allegedly sells their own child to be recorded, compromised, and controlled. Look at that clip of Bryce Gray now. Look at the innocence, the excitement.
Ready? How we gonna do the entrance of it, though?
I don't know, you're the artist.
All right, here we go. It's your boy, Bashir Gray. Empire. What's up, man?
That was great. Thanks. Congratulations on the success of the show. I mean, last year it seemed like it was like just a big train that came in and just kept going along. You guys set ratings records and everything. Did you expect that at all when you got the pilot script?
No, not at all. It just kind of just blew up out of nowhere, man, really. And just from the music to the acting put it together. It's a great project.
And how has it changed your life personally? I mean, just all the success. I mean,
Oh man, from everything.
I've been to events, people are screaming your name all the time.
Man, it's like traveling from city to city. People know my face everywhere I go. It's a huge blessing, man. It's just, I'm happy to be a part of something that's inspirational to the world and means something to the world. My character is kind of mean, but he means something to the world, and something's happening to the
He's talking about building an empire, his music career taking off. He had no idea that his very success was the bait, luring him deeper into the recording system. Every achievement he celebrated on camera was, allegedly, designed to make him a more valuable, more controllable asset. The bigger his platform, the more powerful the blackmail, and the retaliation for those who try to break free. Terrence Howard confirms the pattern. When artists try to expose the system, the industry's response is character elimination.
They accused him of fondling or touching someone at a bar.
Oh, yeah.
At a bar, and then they accused him of touching some dude.
Through manufactured scandals. They weaponize their own criminal behavior by projecting it onto the victims. But the ultimate, undeniable evidence that confirms this entire terrifying network comes from Jaguar Wright's own first-hand account. Stop. She is not describing hearsay. She is describing being an eyewitness to the recording operation itself. Professional studio documentation of explicit criminal acts involving multiple celebrities. She saw the machine in action. Here is what the evidence proves tonight. DMX warned us about the system of compromise and control.
I saw it was in a music studio. Like every other industry porn. First time I saw Paris Hilton's tape, A Night in Paris, was in the studio. The first time I saw Mary J. Blige being gang on camera at Death Row after hours was in the studio. Why would all of this illicit be in a place where music is supposed to be being created, energy, why would all of that be happening? Why would these things be hitting there before they make it out there to the world? If it wasn't working hand in hand to begin with.
Terrence Howard survived it and exposed its blueprint. Will Smith was allegedly a key recruiter for it. Multiple celebrities, including Bryce Gray and Justin Bieber, were allegedly recorded. The tapes exist. Eyewitnesses are now talking. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a mounting body of evidence pointing to the largest, most sophisticated blackmail and exploitation operation in Hollywood history. This story is far bigger than one man or even two. When you understand that multiple A-list celebrities were actively facilitating Diddy's recording system, you realize this wasn't just about individual predation. This was about systematic Hollywood-wide collaboration, and the evidence of celebrity involvement goes far, far beyond music industry mentorship programs. Watch this clip.
Yeah! Good, you're doing so good.
I just want to say,
You just watched Diddy casually, brazenly invite a 13-year-old boy to an after party, and he specifically name drops who will be there to lure him in. This isn't random party footage. This is documented evidence of celebrities being used as bait to attract minors to private, controlled gatherings. Ashton Kutcher's presence wasn't coincidental. It was strategic. His wholesome, goofy image and young fan base made him the perfect, unsuspecting lure for underage victims who would trust him enough to let their guard down. Now, listen to Diddy himself describe the environment of these parties. Now you understand the full, horrifying scope of the operation. He is describing how he physically trapped people, making them uncomfortable and unable to leave. When you combine this with celebrity recruitment, minor targeting, and systematic recording, you are no longer looking at isolated incidents. You are looking at a criminal conspiracy involving multiple A-list participants. And the panic? The panic is real. This confirms that multiple high-profile figures are now in a state of sheer desperation, allegedly including names like Ashton Kutcher and Jay-Z, who are frantically trying to suppress evidence of their participation, whether willing or unwitting, in Diddy's recording network. The system is collapsing in on itself. The celebrity recruitment network allegedly involved Will Smith for music industry targets, Ashton Kutcher for young Hollywood and underage victims, and countless others who used their fame and the public's trust to feed fresh talent into the recording machine.
There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Correct.
This isn't just about Diddy anymore. This is about a systemic, celebrity-enabled conspiracy. This is about the creation of a library of souls, used to control the very fabric of our popular culture for decades. Tonight, we've connected the dots that they never wanted connected. DMX prophesied it. Terrence Howard survived it. Will Smith was allegedly a recruiter for it. Ashton Kutcher was allegedly used as bait for it. The evidence is no longer circumstantial. It's a chorus of voices from the past and present, all singing the same terrifying song. Tape trading is happening right now as desperate stars try to buy back their freedom before federal investigations make everything public. If trusted mentors like Will Smith were allegedly recruiting for this operation, which current celebrities are identifying victims for them right now? When you see a sudden, inexplicable career move, a bizarre public breakdown, or a promising star vanishing from the spotlight, are you watching an artistic decision, or are you witnessing real-time blackmail manipulation? This is the world they built behind the fame, and the curtain is finally being torn down. If you have any information related to this investigation, your voice matters. And for everyone else, the best way to fight the silence is with sunlight. Share this video, make your voice heard. This is Behind the Fame. Until next time, fam, stay vigilant.
I'm not poking anything. I'm asking y'all reaction to seeing him on Club Shay Shay talking with Shannon Sharp.
Ain't nobody say, you know, the thing about it is, man, that at the end of the day, it's all entertainment. We all brothers in this game. It's all entertainment.
All right, pull up a chair and get comfortable, because we're about to go down a rabbit hole so deep, so dark, that the world you think you know is about to be turned completely upside down. Remember Katt Williams on Club Shay Shay? The whole world watched, jaws on the floor, as he unloaded what everyone in the mainstream media immediately labeled a meltdown. They called him unstable, a comedian who'd finally lost the plot. They painted him as the crazy one. But here's the question nobody was brave enough to ask back then. What if the crazy one was the only one telling the truth? Fast forward to right now. The landscape has shifted dramatically. Federal witnesses are whispering names in sealed testimonies. A dead woman's diary is said to hold photos so compromising they could bring down empires. And every single wild, seemingly unbelievable thing Katt Williams talked about, it's not looking so wild anymore. It's starting to look a lot like a prophecy. This isn't gossip anymore. This is receipts coming to life.
Turned down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
While Hollywood was scrambling to distance itself from Diddy's crumbling empire, the same names Katt once casually dropped, names that got him mocked and dismissed, are now being formally entered into court records. It feels like we're not just watching a scandal unfold, we're watching a man's words materialize into cold, hard federal documentation. For years, the narrative was set. Katt Williams had a breakdown. But what if it wasn't a breakdown at all? What if it was a breakthrough? While every other comedian in Hollywood was busy protecting their brand, chasing the next Netflix special, and playing the game, Katt was collecting something far more valuable. He was collecting the truth. 30 years worth of it. He'd been observing, documenting, and storing Hollywood's darkest secrets in a mental vault, keeping his mouth shut just long enough to stay safe. And when he finally decided to speak, the entire industry flinched, not because he was ranting, but because he knew. He didn't just suspect what was happening behind those gilded closed doors, he had proof. And that, my friends, is the one thing that truly terrifies people in power. While others were protecting their careers, Katt was building a library of secrets with the potential to bring the whole damn industry to its knees. And here's where it gets even deeper. Even Candace Owens, someone known for fearlessly calling out corruption, someone who doesn't scare easy, publicly backed him up. She didn't just agree with him, she confirmed his timeline. She pointed out that Katt had been hinting at this truth long before the first lawsuit was even filed. During that now infamous interview with Shannon Sharpe, Katt looked dead into the camera and said he'd tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It sounded like bravado at the time, but then, not long after, the lawsuits started dropping. Lawsuits that named some of the most powerful figures in the music industry. One of those cases pointed a finger straight at the very top, Universal Music Group. The lawsuit accused them of being at the apex of a deeply disturbing operation. And according to these claims, Diddy wasn't the mastermind. He was allegedly working under someone else, a man named Lucian Grange.
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met.
Now here's where the story takes a sharp, dark turn. The lawsuit suggested that Diddy and Grange had a personal relationship, and that Grange didn't just know about these secret parties, he might have been involved himself. Candace broke it down perfectly. Diddy was the flashy public face, but Lucian Grange, he was the power behind the curtain, the man pulling the strings. Universal knew everyone played their part. But instead of digging into these earth-shattering claims, what did the media do? They attacked Candace for even talking about it. They mocked her for reading the lawsuit aloud and brushed off the possibility of an organized criminal ring operating in the heart of Hollywood. She said she was stunned by how quickly the focus shifted from the actual horrific allegations to silencing anyone who dared to ask questions. That's the moment you realize this isn't about Diddy. This is about control. Candace's tone made it crystal clear she wasn't just defending Katt Williams, she was confirming that his information had been spot on for years. Katt had been exposing those hidden connections long before any federal investigator stepped foot in the room. And now, it's all catching up. Every secret, every whisper, every crazy claim suddenly doesn't sound so crazy anymore.
And anyone who takes that the wrong way know why they take it the wrong way.
So Katt Williams said it. The lawsuit started coming out right after he said it, and he said all would be exposed. He heavily implied, and this is again an allegation, that Lucian Grange was having some sort of a relationship with Diddy. So he is the person that controls Diddy, that Lucian Grange was aware of these parties, that Universal Music Group was aware of these parties. Essentially, that Diddy is the thug and the gangster working on behalf of Lucian Grange.
This is the point where YouTube gossip transforms into a federal case. This is where it gets real. Enter Courtney Burgess, a name you probably didn't know until recently. Burgess claimed he had in his possession a stash of digital evidence from Diddy's private freak-off parties. 11 flash drives. And where did he say they came from? The late Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-partner, and the mother of 4 of his children.
Do you have a particular current status of a case, either as a witness or as a subject or anything at this point?
No, I weighed all that I wasn't going to be a witness, and I didn't want to have nothing to do with the case.
And this is as far as a grand jury, or just in terms of
I was summoned twice to the grand jury. I was summoned just the other day, and my attorney sent me a letter to waive that I wasn't coming, that I didn't want to be involved. I didn't want to be a witness.
Is this a federal or state? It's federal grand jury?
Federal.
And did you at any time take the fifth or ask for immunity or?
No, I went before one. I think they had me for the 29th. I was too far out to be there, so I came that Thursday. And when that was the last day I was there, that's when they took my phone.
Now let that sink in for a second. Burgess stated that these drives contained videos showing 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, caught on camera at Diddy's events while they were visibly intoxicated or under the influence. There was even a manuscript claimed to be Kim Porter's memoir, though her children have denied its authenticity. Burgess had spoken about this on his podcast, but then he was called to testify before a federal grand jury, and everything changed. After testifying under oath, he admitted he couldn't reveal the details. The case was too sensitive. The people involved were too powerful. Federal investigators now know exactly who the alleged victims in those videos are, but their names remain sealed, protected, hidden behind closed doors. And that's when the gravity of the situation hits you like a ton of bricks. This isn't a rumor anymore. This is evidence. News anchors reporting on this have to choose every single word with extreme caution. They confirmed that the 8 people in the videos were alleged victims of crimes. Their names are being protected by the government. During one discussion, a reporter even referenced a scene from an R-rated version of a book where Snoop Dogg was reportedly seen in a compromising situation with Diddy.
I've known about Kim's book, or what was supposed to be her book, this entire time. The truth is, Diddy was highly paranoid right before Kim passed away. And when he found out that her and Cassie were still secretly talking and meeting, it became a very explosive situation for everyone who knew about it. Pieces of that memoir have been acquired by the home team, and that bad actors were incorporated so that they could put just enough spin to create reasonable doubt in the jury pool. It's a smart play, but not with Kim's words.
The room, they said, fell silent. Someone muttered, "Men don't hold hands like that." Shock turned to disgust as more unsettling details spilled out. Whispers of Diddy, Neo, and others allegedly caught in behavior that blurred the line between partying and outright exploitation. And that's the moment Snoop Dogg's name officially entered federal testimony.
Or Scarface.
Ice Cube.
That's a hard one.
Ice Cube is my OG, Scarface is my peer.
Illmatic or Ready to Die?
Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die?
Yeah.
I love it when they call me Big Pop. Was that on there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Biggie.
Corrupt or Method Man?
Damn.
Take a shot?
I'm gonna take a shot on that one.
DJ Quick or Daz?
But I gotta go with DJ Quick. I know Daz gonna be mad at me, but so what?
Eazy-E or Suge Knight?
Damn. Give me a shot.
I love that. Two. I can't choose neither. Tupac or Nipsey? You take a shot.
Take another shot.
Dr. Dre or Puff Daddy?
Dr. Dre. I know this Puffy show, y'all gonna cut that.
According to Burgess, he wasn't just holding on to videos. He also had Kim Porter's original memoir, allegedly containing photos of Diddy with Snoop, Andre Harrell, and other well-known figures. This wasn't internet chatter. These were physical materials, tangible evidence that Kim Porter herself was said to have collected long before her mysterious demise in 2018.
Of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he... Heavy D was working on a book before he... Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him?
Think about that for a moment. Kim Porter, the mother of Diddy's children, someone who lived in his inner world for over a decade, might have been documenting everything from the inside. She wasn't just a partner, she could have been an unwilling archivist, quietly keeping evidence that would later become the centerpiece of a federal investigation.
And then all of a sudden, they rush to do the coroner come in and say, yo, she had she had pneumonia, she died of pneumonia, but nobody did no autopsy or nothing like that. Get out of here. Have a funeral, put in a gold casket. It takes, what, 2 months to get those gold caskets, had it within a week? Or you're a millionaire, I guess you can. You're a multi-millionaire, you can get it.
And the timing is impossible to ignore. Kim passed away suddenly in 2018 from what was called lobar pneumonia. A healthy 47-year-old woman doesn't just lose her life like that unless something deeper is at play. If the alleged memoir is real, it suggests Kim knew the danger was closing in. Not long after, Courtney Burgess claimed federal agents seized his equipment, but he had backups. He even said his phones and studio devices were confiscated because of what they contained. The fact that law enforcement treated him as a key witness and not a conspiracy theorist says everything. The materials were serious enough for criminal evidence handling. Investigators believe there's real weight behind what he brought forward. And Burgess wasn't the only one. Federal prosecutors now have multiple witnesses confirming that major celebrities attended Diddy's parties. These weren't wild rumors. They were sworn testimonies describing what really happened behind those closed doors. One witness, a woman, even claimed she appeared on some of the very tapes Homeland Security seized. She said she had no memory of what was done to her until years later. When she realized the truth, she said the same famous faces who were on those tapes still smiled in her face like nothing ever happened. Before ending her story, she left a chilling warning. Those videos might one day come out, but not in the way anyone expects. That revelation is huge, because if Homeland Security took those tapes from Diddy's homes, it means investigators believe they're legitimate evidence of federal crimes, not gossip. And according to witnesses, Snoop Dogg's name is among those linked to the footage. Think about that. Federal agents don't take random videos. They take what they believe supports criminal charges. If Snoop's name appears in that evidence, the implications are catastrophic.
So Puffy's sons and my sons have been best friends since they were 6-7 years old. I didn't make it happen and Puffy didn't make it happen. One night I was at my house and Puffy's son was over about like 9 o'clock. And I'm like, cuz, what time you going home? And he like, I'm spending the night. I'm like, did you tell your dad? He like, nah, my mom dropped me off. So Kim, rest in peace, was connecting my kids with Puff kids, and they formed a friendship and a bond. When Justin went to UCLA, my son went to UCLA. When Christian was rapping, my son was rapping. When he was modeling, they was flying over the world together. So they forged a friendship and a brotherhood that me and Puff always had. So if we got the opportunity to take these two brands and show people what it can be as opposed to what it used to be.
And then, as the case deepens, old ghosts from hip-hop's past resurface, pulling the story all the way back to one of the most haunting, unsolved mysteries in music history, the night Tupac Shakur was assassinated in Las Vegas. An insider once asked a question that's been hanging in the air for decades. Was Snoop at the hospital? The answer? Number. He wasn't. Suge Knight, speaking from behind bars, later revealed that Snoop didn't go anywhere near the hospital after the shooting, something that felt odd even back then. Suge said he tried calling him repeatedly, urging him to come see Tupac, but he never did. When Snoop finally showed up later, Suge said Tupac's mother was there too. They both confronted him, asking him why he hadn't visited Tupac in the hospital.
I want my last words to be, I did it.
Snoop reportedly said Tupac was angry with him, that he felt unwanted and didn't want to make things worse. But Tupac's mother told him something powerful. She said even when her son was mad at her, she still showed up, because that's what love does. And then came the moment no one could forget. Sujay recalled Snoop suddenly breaking down, crying uncontrollably, and even vomiting. Everyone stood there, stunned. They thought he was just overwhelmed with emotion.
Me and my man Snoop was saying, y'all, there ain't no East Coast, West Coast beef.
I swear, we ain't coming to talk about nothing behind us. We come to talk about what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
We here to make a difference, you know what I'm saying? So we want y'all to stay in school and keep y'all heads in y'all books.
No doubt, knowledge is power, y'all.
But you know, we're the future, so it's on us to make a change.
That's great. Look, I'd like to thank Snoop and Puff for stopping by and dropping this knowledge on you all. All right, now, any questions?
Yeah, so Mr. Hightower, who you gonna let sample your song?
Yeah, Steve. I talked to my man Shook. He's gonna charge us half of what you was trying to charge us.
Sugarfoot don't know who he messing with up in here. I bust Sugarfoot dead in his head, and Della Reese ain't gonna be there to pull me up off little bitty Sugarfoot.
Now, Steve, have you learned your lesson? That ain't the way to handle problems, baby.
Now, Steve, you're a role model, right? Check yourself, homie.
But looking back now, Sugay said it felt like something heavier. It felt like guilt. Tupac's mother tried to calm him down, telling him it would be okay. But deep down, Sugay said it didn't feel like grief. It felt like fear. Sugay Knight, the man who was in the car the night Tupac was hit, the man who took a bullet fragment himself, has nothing left to lose. And that makes his words hit with the force of a sledgehammer.
I say a week before we was best of friends. 2 days before he I don't think he liked me because we was in New York and went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like them. I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way. Like, then them tried to kill me. I said, shit you. And you talking about you want to do a song with him? I wasn't thinking about his emotion. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked the music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out. Pac, Biggie, Puff, Suge, all of us together. Prior to Death Row, I never seen myself getting involved. Even when he played the video for me to Hit 'Em Up. Even when he played Hit 'Em Up the song, I didn't like the song.
Did you feel like it was
I didn't
too
like
much?
it. I didn't like it. Like, it wasn't like the shit to me. Like, it was buying more problems, cuz. Gangsters is everywhere. They make them everywhere. And I think when he got with us, he got to the mind state that we the mother. And ain't nobody like us. Always people like us everywhere.
His theory was chilling. He believed Snoop had already made a deal behind the scenes, and the weight of that secret was eating him alive. The timeline only made things look worse. Tupac was hit after confronting Orlando Anderson, a known Crip, and Snoop, who's long been tied to the Crips, was suddenly missing from the hospital where his closest friend fought for his life.
So normally I got 2 security with me that fly on a private plane with us. Suge got his homies, Pac got his security. We get to the private plane, and Suge like, they can't go.
Your security.
They can't go. Security like, all right, well come on with us, dog. I'm like, nah. I'm gonna stay there. I'm riding with them. Like, this either the moment you gonna me, but we gonna get some clarity in this air. We got a 5.5 hour flight. I ain't got no security. You ain't feeling me right now. So I sit down, and I'm like, they still don't say nothing to me. Now we finna take off. I'm like, all right, I see what's finna happen. I've been around these, I know how they get down. I grab me a knife and a fork, get my blanket, 5.5 hours like this. Sit in the back of the plane, all the way in the back. I'm the last seat. So if somebody gonna get killed, if I'm gonna get killed, somebody dying.
But Suge said Snoop's absence was just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. A system of control that's ruled the music industry for decades. The same kind of coercion and manipulation now surfacing in Diddy's case. In an old interview, Sugi described walking into a party where Diddy was present. When asked if he joined in, he brushed it off, saying he didn't throw those kinds of parties. It wasn't a joke, it was a statement. According to him, both Diddy and Snoop were involved in private arrangements used to maintain power and control in the industry.
Snoop, I saw you when you had your comedy jam in Katt Williams.
Oh, God. Don't poke the bear, man. Don't poke the bear.
I'm not poking anything. I'm asking y'all reaction to seeing him on Club Shay Shay talking to Shannon Sharp.
Ain't nobody say, you know, the thing about it is, man, that at the end of the day, it's all entertainment. We all brothers in this game. It's all entertainment. Nobody could take none of that serious, man. Everybody that he talked about, even him, we all guilty for talking and saying stuff about people. Yeah, I mean, it's all opinion. And that's how I took it. It was all fun. We gonna keep it fun, man. Let's keep this fun.
If you're a comedian, the first rule of engagement as a comedian is that you have to have tough skin. Because if you're going to dish it, you have to be able to receive it.
This wasn't about orientation, it was about leverage. Suge claimed artists were compromised and kept in line by those above them, warning that unless people spoke up, history would keep repeating itself. He even said that Diddy was both victim and perpetrator, trained by powerful figures before him like Russell Simmons, Andre Harrell, and Clive Davis. All part of a system that's been in place for years. This wasn't a new conspiracy. It was the blueprint of the entertainment industry. Suge Knight's words peeled back the curtain on something much bigger than personal scandals. What he described wasn't random misconduct. It was an institutional system, a long-running cycle where victims become perpetrators as they climb the ladder. It mirrors exactly what federal prosecutors are now uncovering in Diddy's case. A web of manipulation, coercion, and silence. Suge didn't hold back. He said there's no need for whistleblowers because the truth is already in plain sight. According to him, everyone in the industry, from P. Diddy to Rick Ross, Jay-Z, Snoop, and Dre, all know what's really happening. But no one speaks. Once investigators begin, the same celebrities who partied together suddenly vanish. They pretend they were never involved. That silence, he said, isn't coincidence. It's strategy. These weren't friendships. They were alliances built on secrets. When one falls, everyone else scatters to protect themselves.
Walking to a party, standing in there and puffing, Dre, Snoop.
Right.
What do you say?
So, well, you know, I don't go to those type of parties. You know, I'm straight.
Cube or Scarface?
Ice Cube.
Dr. Dre or Puff Daddy?
Dr. Dre. I know this Puffy show, y'all gonna cut the shit out, but I don't care. Cut the show.
No, he Illmatic or Ready to Die?
You talking about Biggie Small, Ready to Die?
Yeah. Just take a shot, Snoop. Come on.
I'm gonna go with Biggie.
Tupac or Nipsey?
Wow.
Just take a shot.
I'm gonna take another.
Then came the viral phase, the boiled egg test. It started as a cryptic post online until Suge allegedly explained it himself. The story goes that Diddy would hand someone a boiled egg and they had to prove their readiness by placing it somewhere without breaking it. At first, people laughed it off, but the more stories surfaced, the darker it sounded. Suge described it as an initiation ritual, a test of submission before gaining access to the elite inner circle.
I'm pretty sure Suge knows who yeah. Well, I mean, so when he comes out of sedation, I'm sure anybody who gets shot will tell you who shot them, right?
Yeah.
But if the police say nobody shot him, I believe nobody shot him. And if nobody shot him, that's the same nobody that shot Tupac. And if nobody shot Tupac, it's the same nobody that shot MLK. And if nobody shot him, that's the same person that shot Malcolm X too. It's a lot of nobodies out there, and nobody minds if nobody comes up missing, right? That don't bother nobody, does it? Certainly doesn't.
According to the relentless online chatter, even Snoop Dogg supposedly passed it. Fans even pointed out his odd public fascination with boiled eggs, posting, eating, and joking about them constantly. On its own, it seemed bizarre, maybe even harmless. But when you line it up with the allegations, the rituals, and the ongoing federal investigations, it doesn't feel funny anymore. Because this test was never about food. It was about obedience. It was about showing how far someone would go for power, privilege, and protection inside Hollywood's most secretive, most powerful world. And when those same circles start collapsing under the weight of a federal investigation, you see people's true colors. Innocent people usually react with concern or outrage. Guilty ones, they act confused. They're overly calm. They start carefully, methodically rewriting their public image. That's exactly how Snoop responded when he was finally asked about Diddy. He said he was shocked that he tries to be a better boss, that he treats people right because he knows what it feels like to be treated badly. It was smooth, it was respectful, and it was a little too perfect. Every single word sounded rehearsed, like a PR statement carefully disguised as humility. Instead of outrage or empathy for any potential victims, it was all damage control. Observers noticed it immediately. Innocent people don't talk about being great leaders when their longtime friend is facing federal sex trafficking charges. They speak from raw emotion, not from a pre-written script. Snoop's response was strategic virtue signaling, a masterful attempt to shift the spotlight away from the horrifying accusations and back onto himself as the good guy. But when you zoom out, when you connect all the dots from Kim Porter's secret documentation to Suge Knight's prison confessions, from the mystery of Tupac's hospital room to the eerie, unsettling stories of boiled eggs, all roads seem to lead to the same intricate web of control, the same network that's ruled the entertainment world for decades.
Now, do you think that Diddy Kim Porter?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters, because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being sodomized by Andre Harrell. And I'm not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Moore talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting at the Kit Kat Club.
And that leaves us with one final haunting question. If Snoop Dogg, one of hip-hop's most beloved, iconic figures, is genuinely entangled in this, what does that mean for everything we think we know about the culture, about the music we love, about the idols we worship? When the sealed testimonies are finally unsealed, when the federal evidence is presented, and when the names start to drop, people won't just be shocked. They'll realize that this was never about music. It was never about art. It was about power, a billion-dollar machine built not on creativity, but on compromise, blackmail, and total control. So if you've made it this far, you know the story is just getting started. The walls are closing in, the whispers are becoming sworn statements, the evidence is piling up. This isn't the end, this is the beginning of the end game. Hit that subscribe button, stay tuned, because if there's anything we're sure of, it's that this story is far, far from over. The truth is coming, and it's bringing receipts.
And Lori Harvey, they're heating things up in Italy. Notice her arm is on the back of his chair.
Shocking! Because you know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein, he was running with that whole crew.
And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
Strap in, because we're diving deep into a story that's more twisted than a Hollywood thriller. A tale of power, secret tapes, and a feud that exploded into one of the biggest scandals to ever rock the entertainment world. This isn't just gossip anymore, this is a reckoning. Before we uncover the shocking details about who might be on those tapes, make sure you're locked in with us. If you're not already part of the crew that gets the real story, hit that subscribe button and smash the bell icon so you never miss a moment when we drop new revelations.
And psychologically. So that's that. Now, 50 Cent.
What's he doing there, Pat? Did you see that photo?
Yeah, I mean, some pictures.
Well, the other way
Great
around.
artist.
What's he doing down there? One more. What's he doing right?
That's when he was, apparently that is when he received and he fell to the floor and started banging on his chair crying.
Picture this, October 2025. A New York courtroom falls silent. After years of hushed rumors, sealed documents, and a carefully constructed empire of influence, the verdict is in. Sean Diddy Combs, the man who symbolized hip-hop royalty, unimaginable wealth, and creative genius, is found guilty. The charges? Sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. For millions, it was a seismic shock, a brutal fall from grace that defied belief.
Diddy had a speaking gig this week. I don't know if you guys were going to go watch him speak, but he had a speaking gig this week. And 50 Cent wastes no time trolling the 50-month sentence. And he goes out there and says, Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced 50 months in prison on federal charges. The rapper, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, posted on X, not long after Diddy's sentence was revealed, offering to take his spot on a upcoming speaking engagement. Hey, to whoever was booking Diddy for speaking engagement, I heard he won't be able to make it.
But for one man, it was the moment he'd been predicting for over 2 decades. That man was 50 Cent, and he wasn't just saying, "I told you so." He was screaming it from the rooftops, backing it up with a documentary project that sent a cold chill through the heart of Hollywood, a film ominously titled, He's Got the Tapes. This is the story of how a 20-year-old hip-hop beef unraveled into a real-life horror story, exposing a dark underbelly of control, coercion, and a culture of silence that protected a predator for far too long. This is about the tapes, the threats, and the terrified celebrities now scrambling to erase their past.
So you have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know
He did it.
you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
The tension between 50 Cent and Diddy isn't just a feud, it's a foundational pillar of hip-hop history. Rewind to the early 2000s. Diddy was the established mogul, the king of bad boy records, a master of branding and champagne-soaked glamour. 50 Cent was the hungry, bulletproof newcomer from Queens, embodying a raw, unfiltered energy that didn't play by the industry's polite rules.
He's a rapper, actor, producer, businessman, and the list goes on. 50 Cent has his hands in just about everything and showing no signs of slowing down. We sat down with the multi-hyphenate to discuss his upcoming return to the stage, his current projects, and what's coming in the future, including his docuseries about Diddy.
The spark was lit early. 50 has claimed for years that, during his early struggles, he ghost wrote a verse for Diddy and was never properly paid or credited. That small slight festered. Soon, 50's tracks were laced with subtle and then not so subtle jabs at Puff Daddy. By the time Get Rich or Die Trying exploded, their relationship was ashes.
So let's start with 50 Cent, because I read that the name originally was a metaphor for change, and also from a Brooklyn bank robber in the 1980s.
Yeah, well, street guy, yeah.
Okay, and so what was that change metaphor that you were thinking about so early on?
Well, I came with the concept of I just do things my way, and I knew that the other artists that were there, there was so many talented artists a part of hip hop culture that I knew they could beat me at different things, but they couldn't beat me at being me.
But this was more than just clashing egos. 50 Cent always sensed something darker. Behind the flashy vote or die campaigns, the white parties, and the celebrity-studded charity galas, 50 was hinting at a rot he believed was festering at the core of Diddy's world. He'd post memes, make jokes, but the intent was deadly serious. He was the boy pointing at the emperor, insisting he had no clothes while the rest of the world was blinded by the glitter. Fast forward to 2024. As federal investigations into Diddy intensified, 50 Cent made his move. He announced a docu-series dedicated to investigating every single accusation ever leveled against the mogul. Skeptics rolled their eyes. It's just 50 being 50, they said. Another one of his marketing stunts. But then, Netflix bought the rights.
Official announcement amid mounting lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. Houston rapper 50 Cent announced yesterday that he's the executive producer of a docu-series about the and allegations against Combs. The series will also discuss the trafficking and racketeering charges Combs is facing.
The involvement of a streaming giant changed everything. It transformed a taunt into a legitimate threat. It meant there was substance, evidence, and a story too explosive to ignore. Then during the trial, the bombshell dropped. Prosecutors confirmed the existence of video recordings. Not just any videos, freak-off tapes, as they were called in court. They were described as explicit, disturbing, and meticulously organized, showing what the state argued was a pattern of organized exploitation. The most chilling detail: witnesses testified that Diddy used these recordings as tools of control. He would film private encounters, often without full consent, and then hold the footage over people's heads. The message was clear: speak out against me, and I will release this to the world.
Said Diddy gonna end up doing 24 months in prison. The judge gave him 50 months, but you gotta realize he already had 14 months in it, practically, and he's going to get credit for 2 months of that 14 months.
Suddenly, the title of 50 Cent's documentary, He's Got the Tapes, stopped sounding like a boast and started sounding like a dire warning to an entire industry. The laughter died in their throats. This wasn't a game anymore. When the guilty verdict came down, it didn't just end a career, it triggered a panic. The wall of silence began to crumble, and the great Hollywood scramble began. Celebrities who had once jockeyed for a spot in Diddy's Instagram photos began a frantic digital cleanse. Posts were deleted, tributes vanished, histories were rewritten. Steve Harvey was among the first. Back in 2017, he'd publicly praised Diddy, calling him "my brother" and lauding his generosity. That post, wiped from the internet, deleted shortly after Diddy's 2024 arrest. But Steve's case was particularly interesting. The internet has a long memory, and it quickly resurfaced photos from a 2019 Italian vacation. There was Diddy arm in arm with Steve's stepdaughter, Lori Harvey. And right there in the background, smiling for the camera, was Steve himself. Neither Steve nor Lori ever confirmed a relationship, but the timing of his social media purge now looked suspicious. When 50 Cent posted, "A lot of people are nervous right now," the subtext was deafening. It wasn't just about embarrassment, it was about fear. Fear of what was on those tapes. Fear of who else was caught on camera, smiling in a room where they shouldn't have been. Steve Harvey, the beloved family man and comedian, suddenly became visibly uncomfortable in interviews, dodging any topic related to Diddy.
And looking at this lawsuit, Little Roy, he also claiming that, when he would go to parties with Diddy, he was lacing up the woman drinks with drugs. How you feel about him saying that? You believe that?
I read that, and if that's what he saw, if he could prove that, and he has a lot of video. He said he had hours and hours of video.
The perception was damning. In a world built on image, even a whiff of association with this level of scandal can be a career killer. Then, the rumor mill turned its gaze even higher. In mid-2025, whispers began to swirl, connecting two of America's most trusted figures to Diddy's world, Oprah Winfrey and Bishop T.D. Jakes. The internet ran wild with clips and forum posts speculating about their attendance at his infamous parties. The response was swift and public. At a live event, Oprah stated firmly, "I have never been to one of Diddy's parties." She added, "Anyone who knows me knows I leave early from every event." Bishop Jakes was similarly dismissive, explaining he'd only stopped by a birthday celebration years ago for about 30 minutes, and vehemently denying any bizarre romantic rumors, calling them foolish, and disrespectful. The audience laughed, but the timing was everything.
You know a line when they start explaining something and nobody asked them to explain. Oprah Winfrey, color purple, decided to take it upon herself to get on stage and tell her audience that she ain't never been to a P. Diddy party. Now, Oprah, we all know your.
Why now? Why so defensive? Because by June 2025, the trial had already painted a horrifying picture of what those parties truly were. Not glamorous soirees, but private, coercive gatherings where people were filmed without their knowledge. Their denials, while likely true, highlighted the sheer terror the tapes inspired. The mere suggestion of a connection was enough to force two powerful, respected figures to address internet gossip directly. The ground beneath everyone's feet had become unstable. So, where does this leave us? With a convicted mogul, a terrified industry, and 50 Cent, the self-appointed prophet of its downfall. His documentary is more than just a victory lap. It's a direct challenge to the entire ecosystem of Hollywood. He's leveraging his unique position, an independently wealthy artist who owes nothing to the traditional power structure, to ask the questions others are too afraid to ask. When he says he's got the tapes, he's implying a terrifying possibility.
I don't want him going to those
What's up with the hugging pictures at the white party, though? What is that?
I don't know, bro.
Every picture is a little
Why
bit.
is everyone so happy to be there? I'm like, this is regular parties. People don't just hug each other.
You had to sit in 4 hours of traffic
like
to
5
drive
minutes. Come on, let's have a group hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, hug. I'm going to shake your hand. Hey, what's up, man? Everything good? Yeah.
It does feel controlled. Yo, hold on, baby. That's crazy.
I'm telling you, it was too much fun.
That's crazy.
It was a little too much.
That copies exist outside of law enforcement evidence lockers, that he or his sources might have access, that the truth in its most raw and damning form could still be released. This is the sword of Damocles hanging over Hollywood. Every social media post from 50 teasing new footage sends executives and A-listers into a panic. It's not about gossip anymore. It's about evidence. It's about complicity. The verdict against Diddy didn't just expose one man's crimes. It exposed an entire culture that looked the other way.
Diddy and Lori Harvey, who, you know, have been spending a lot of time together. They've been on some trips. I believe they were in Europe. You should say Lori Harvey, the daughter of Steve Harvey's daughter. Well, the most recent trip they've taken is to Cabo. And we got some photos of them, and this is actually as they're leaving Cabo, coming back to the States.
It exposed how power can be used to silence, manipulate, and exploit. People are now rewatching old red carpet interviews and award show interactions, seeing not glamour, but a web of unspoken agreements and willful ignorance. 50 Cent's message is simple. The truth cannot stay buried forever. He's using humor and media savvy to do what the system has failed to do for decades: hold power accountable. The public's appetite has shifted. We're no longer just entertained by the drama, we're demanding answers.
How do they take this? Do they bury their head in the pillow and cry, or do they keep their head held high and just pack up their stuff and wait for their assigned new prison? Like, tell me everything.
Well, everybody's different. I'm sure he went back was somewhat disappointed, so he's probably, dwelling on that. Hey, it could have been differently. Maybe I should have gotten out. Maybe he's a little bit upset, a little bit angry. I get it. All those emotions come into play.
The laughter has stopped. The curiosity has turned into a demand for justice. As Diddy's story reaches its legal conclusion and 50 Cent's documentary prepares to pull back the final curtain, Hollywood stands at a crossroads. Will the industry finally admit what it knew? Will those who laughed along at the parties now step forward and tell the truth? Or will they keep hiding, praying to whatever God they believe in that those tapes, the ones 50 Cent claims to have, never ever see the light of day? And if he does have them, what world-shattering truths are about to be exposed? The silence is about to be broken. And when it is, the fallout will redefine celebrity culture forever. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Who do you believe is the most nervous about what's on those tapes? And until next time, fam, keep it real.